Good morning, this is Stuart from We Sell Homes in Paradise, down on the beach in Torre Guadiaro. It's a beautiful day, and today I wanted to talk to you about mortgages. The reason I want to talk to you about mortgages is the better you are prepared, the more likely you're going to get a good mortgage. Now, there are a few things you need to know. The first thing you need to know is about affordability. Basically, Spanish banks will lend you based on 3.5 times your net disposable income after your fixed costs. Wherever you live, let's say if you have a 10,000 salary per month and you have a 3,000 mortgage in your home country, car payments and things like this, let's say after all of those fixed expenses, you have 5,000, okay? A third of that is what the Spanish banks will allow for your mortgage payments. So let's say 1,300 euros, okay? Now, when they do the affordability study, there are two main considerations. Obviously, interest rates. So right now we're seeing interest rates fixed at 3.5%, so discounted from Euribor. And we're also seeing that some products will allow you to go up to 80 years old, normally 75 years old, okay? So we had an experience recently with a US buyer. He's 65, so ultimately the term of his mortgage would be 10 years, which obviously increases the monthly payments. Now, it is based on the older person in the relationship, okay, if two people are on the mortgage. So you need to know that and be prepared. So that's affordability. Then there's valuations. So let's say you like a property and the price of it is 400,000, but the bank values it at 450,000. Your mortgage will be based on the 400,000, not the 450. It's a price paid or the valuation, whichever is the least, okay? The other thing you need to know is here in Spain, we have buying costs, which are typically around 10% of a property purchase price. These costs cannot be tacked on to your mortgage, okay? So you need to have that in cash. If you buy new, you're actually expected to pay another 3% additionally in buying costs, so 13%. You also need to know that we use a lot of mortgage brokers. The reason we use that is they consolidate your application and they are like a filter of what is really achievable. And then they send your application to multiple banks so that you can get multiple offers, okay? And then you pick the best one. The other thing you need to know is many times you'll get great rates, but there's something called bonification. The rates are great because you're expected to take a few banking products. For instance, health insurance, life insurance, home contents insurance, an alarm system. And all of these different products help to reduce the interest rate that you'll pay on your mortgage, okay? So there are lots of different things you need to know to be prepared. Now, you can be as open and honest as you want. We don't expect you to disclose your income and things like this, but if you really trust us, we can guide you so we're not looking at properties which you can't really afford with a mortgage. Let's say you're coming here on a golden visa. Of course, we all know the golden visa is €500,000, which is spent on a property. Now, you can't use a mortgage for a golden visa unless you still are investing €500,000. So let's say you buy a property of 800,000. 500,000 will be your investment and you could get a 300,000 mortgage. So there are things you need to know right at the onset, and we work with two great mortgage brokers, and we always say it's better to know what you truly can afford at the start so we don't have any surprises. And then with the mortgage advisors or brokers, they can create a study and get you something called an agreement in principle. So long as your financial situation doesn't change, that agreement holds, and when you're ready to buy, you can go ahead and buy comfortably knowing there is a mortgage which will be in place. What else is there to say? Well, I think the interest rates are obviously a big thing. We're seeing that Euribor is around 3.75%. You've heard about some discounted products where you can get as low as 3.5%. If you are from the US, you can get a 70% loan to value. If you're from the UK, the same. Obviously, these are both countries outside the EU now. And if you're from the EU, you can also get 70%. But if you are coming from a country where you're paid in a more exotic currency, let's say, perhaps the Middle East, expect about 60% loan to value, okay? As a resident in Spain, you can get 80% loan to value. And remember what I said about valuations. It's the price paid or the valuation, whichever is the least. Okay? So we do this all the time. We're here to guide you. But ultimately, it's good to know where you stand financially before you go out on tour with us. I hope that helps. Bye.